Good morning and welcome to the Doctor's Kitchen live from my humble kitchen with me, Rupi. It is 7:39. We're a little bit late, but it's okay because as you can tell, I'm not going to work until a little bit later today. I'm doing a 12-hour shift from about 12 p.m. 12 to 12, and I thought I'd do something a little bit different today. I'm going to show you how I do my meal prep on a day when I'm doing a later shift. Where I have to eat lunch and dinner at work. I've already prepped my breakfast, I've just done a quick workout, and now I'm just ready to show you exactly how I change it up. We're going to do a Mediterranean inspired salad with roast vegetables and some garlic, lots of different flavours, tons of different vegetables, some plant protein as well. It's going to be delicious. Let me show you exactly how I've done it. So first of all I've done is just cut up some carrots, some parsnips, a couple of cloves of garlic that I've smashed, extra virgin olive oil, salt, pepper, super easy, 180 degrees centigrade at about 180 degrees centigrade for about 30 to 35 minutes. Forget about it for 30 minutes, it will come out perfectly every time. The other thing that you could do, but I couldn't get it from the store yesterday, is butternut squash or sweet potato. Those take a little bit longer depending on how thin you want to cut it, but generally anything with colour that takes the roasting well, like carrots, parsnips. You can even use things like cauliflower, broccoli as well. But yeah, I just want to add some colour to it. So that's going to be our starchy vegetable. The next thing I'm going to do is fennel salad with some stone fruit. Yesterday I had it with citrus fruit, so you can use something like orange or something zesty like that, like grapefruit, to bring out the flavours of the aniseed. But I'm going to use stone fruit because what I could get, and it's in season, and it's got a delicious, beautiful flesh to it as well. We're going to mix up some mung beans, sprouted mung beans. Now, this is one of my favourite ingredients. Actually, we'll talk about it in a second, but we're also going to add some sun-dried tomatoes. This is just in a jar with some extra virgin olive oil, hardly anything else added to it, and it's got a gorgeous, obviously, Mediterranean flavour as well. So, for that, and some radicchio, I don't really know how to pronounce this. Okay, so first what we're going to do is we will take off the ends of the fennel. I've just given this a quick wash as well. The fennel is actually something that I don't use as often as I should. It's got a wonderful flavour. I suppose if you're a little bit sensitive to the strong pungent flavour of it, a tip is to slice it very finely and add another strong flavour to it. So something like a citrus fruit would be great. When you add the extra virgin olive oil with all those polyphenols and those beautiful flavours in it, it will somewhat mask or mellow, as I like to say, the fennel flavours. So I'm just going to go very finely on this. So I've done it in half, and then we're going to go aside. So we're going to do it very, very thinly, lengthwise, and then on the side. I wish I could show you a close-up of exactly how I'm chopping here, but essentially it's something they always do in Saturday Kitchen. That's why I've learnt to chop like that. But you make a fist and you tuck your fingers underneath, and you tuck your little thumb underneath the fingers as well, gripping the vegetable, and then you're slicing along against their hands. It's very simple once you practice a few times. Practice some onions. And I've actually got quicker because I knew that, you know, when you're doing live demos, obviously here it's easier, but when you're doing live demos at events and stuff, you want to make sure that you're chopping on time, because otherwise everything goes to pot. And luckily it hasn't yet, actually. That hasn't happened to me yet, I said, yeah. Anyway, so I've done these nice and fine. I'm just going to cut them lengthwise as well. Sorry, not lengthwise, widthways. And just make sure, so you've got this lovely fine mixture here, all these different strands of the fennel, and those gorgeous flavours that you're smelling, all those volatile compounds that are suddenly released from the cells of the fennel, and it's wonderful. And these sorts of compounds are what we want to get in our diets. These are having the anti-inflammatory effects, the anti-carcinogenic benefits over the long haul. The plant hormetic compounds are one that actually cause a little bit of stress to the body, but overall that has a beneficial effect. It was actually mentioned at a talk that I went to last week about how these plant chemicals are not literally, are not literally causing the anti-inflammatory effect. It's the effect that they have on the body that causes a response that has a beneficial effect overall. So it's kind of like exercise. We do exercise, but inherently that's a stressful event. But what we're doing is conditioning the body to be more resilient, and that's what has those cardiovascular benefits, for example. Anyway, so we've got some fennel. I'm going to leave this over here. Can you see that? Yeah. Fennel goes over here. So we've got some stone fruit. This is just a simple flat peach. I've given it a quick, actually no, I haven't given it a quick wash. I'm going to wash this real quick. I always tend to wash the your fruit whenever you use it, because it's going to be dirty. Obviously, it's going to be been taken around a supermarket, probably dropped on the floor a whole bunch of times. And even if you do buy organic, which I try to, it doesn't reduce the exposure massively in a lot of cases to some agricultural chemicals and pesticides and stuff. So it's always best to get rid of them. So remember, I used to eat certain types of fruit, and I'd find that, particularly ones with skins on it, that I'd find like a little bit tingling in the back of my throat. That could be an allergy, but I generally don't have allergies. But yeah, it was pesticides most probably causing those sorts of effects. So I'm just slicing alongside here. The thing about using things like peach is that they can be, if you do leave them, they're not fresh, then they can get a bit soggy, but that's okay with this because we're going to mix it in with the salad anyway. We're really using this as a bit of sweetness because the fennel can be quite tart, and generally I don't use too much fruit in savoury dishes, but I make an exception when I'm using it with fennel because it's delicious, and you need something a little bit sweet to bring it all together. So again, very roughly, it doesn't have to be exact. As you can tell, I'm not doing it exact here. Alright, fine, so that goes there. And this is going to go over here and here. I'm putting it straight into my Tupperware because it just means less hassle, but if you are entertaining, you could just do it in a big platter. Some pomegranate seeds on top of this would look very pleasing as well. And if you did want to do it for presentation purposes, then I would use something like segments of orange because they just look prettier as well, and they have that burst of flavour. And I put it in the fridge because that way you maintain the firmness of those segments of orange juice, so you get bursts of flavour rather than it being all soggy and stuff at room temperature. So okay, so that goes there. We're going to give a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. As you probably know by now, my fat of choice is extra virgin olive oil. I think it's a good robust oil. It's actually quite resilient at high temperatures, about 180 degrees centigrade. So I do use it for roasting, and I do use other oils, including coconut oil, not because it's got miraculous benefits, but because it's a good oil to use and it's got a good flavour, and I use it in things like curries and stuff like that, but you won't find me spooning it into coffee. So even though I have tried that type of coffee, and it does taste nice, but I treat it in the same way I would treat a massive sundae with ice cream and sugar and chocolate chips and dressing and honeycomb. Anyway, we're getting off topic. So I'm just going to mix this around here, and get rid of this. So I've just put a little bit of salt and pepper, the extra virgin olive oil, lovely flavours. We're going to add some mung bean. So mung bean are one of my favourite ingredients. These ones are sprouted. They're super cheap to get. We make them here. I think there's a place in Devon or Cornwall. I don't know exactly where it is. Oh, Devon, yeah, Devon. I was right. So these mung beans, they're basically soaked. They swell up a bit, and then what you do is you take them out and you dry them, but you keep them in a damp environment. Put them in the dark, whether it be a cupboard or even your fridge as well, and then they germinate. So they sprout these little seeds here. So that makes them edible. So you can't eat mung beans in their raw form, obviously, because it's got particular anti-nutrients and lectins that will cause irritation to your stomach. But when they're sprouted like this over about 2 to 3 days, they're edible, and they're a really good source of protein. Lovely crunch as well. So it's going to go very well with the salad that we've got. Always give them a quick wash, because depending on where they've been harvested and how they've been harvested, they can cause a bit of irritation. And yeah, it's always good to give them a wash and make sure you've got any dirt coming off them and stuff like that. Alright. So that goes there, and then we're just going to fold that through the rest of our salad. So that's our salad pretty much done. And as you see, it's very, very simple. You've got protein, you've got colour, you've got lovely flavours, very summery. You can use different types of fruit as well, if you prefer. Okay, so for the rest of the meal, what we're going to do is radicchio, or however you pronounce this. I love this. It's a great mixed leaf. It's got wonderful colour, obviously. It's going to go very well just to lighten up the load of the roast vegetables that we have here. And I'm going to combine it with a little bit of sun-dried tomato because, again, adding to that Mediterranean feel, it's got a lovely sweetness to it, and it will go well with everything else as well. So I just came up with this meal yesterday after going to Princey, by the way, so that's why I'm suddenly doing a Mediterranean meal. It was very off the cuff, and luckily I could go to the supermarket last night and just get some of these ingredients. And yeah, that's what I'm doing this morning. So this is generally what I do. I'm sort of like a very intuitive cook. I don't really think of structured recipes so much. That's why writing a cookbook is actually quite a challenge for me, because I have to come up with weights and stuff like that. As you can tell, I haven't really thought about weights. I've just done it by eye. So okay, so we're just cutting down the radicchio, keeping the stem on. I've already given this a wash and removed some of the outer layers that are a bit gnarly. I'm going to pop that into this here, and then we're going to add just a couple of these. I'm going to put this out of the way, put this in the fridge. Yeah, so we're just going to add a couple of the sun-dried tomato, and these have actually got a little bit of garlic in them as well, so I'm going to be quite garlicky this afternoon and when I'm at work. Oh, so some people are up. Oh, good morning, hello. You're Italian, you love radicchio. Is it radicchio or radicchio? First one or second one, radicchio or radicchio? I don't know. Okay, some sun-dried tomato. I'm probably going to put about 5 or 6 in here. And what's good about this, I'm going to use a bit of the oil as well. There we go. So otherwise it'd be quite oily if I added even more extra virgin olive oil to that. This will probably keep me going until, well, it'll probably be 2 meals here. I'll use a little bit of salad and most of the roast vegetables. These have cooled down a bit, so I can put these in. Actually, what I'm going to do is here's a little trick. Saves you getting 2 spoons and trying to mix it yourself. You just put the lid on and then give it a good shake. That way you actually get the extra virgin olive oil going all around, rather than like trying to toss it with 2 spoons. And then I'm just going to add my roast vegetables on top. How are we doing for time? Probably about 15 minutes this took in total. It's really, really easy. Just if you wake up a little bit earlier than your shift as well, you can do this in the morning. I try basically and do my staples for the week, like these sorts of roast vegetables, on like a Monday or Sunday evening. It'll be rice, lentils, beans, that kind of thing. And then if you fold in the fresh ingredients during the week, you can change up the flavour, you can change up the different types of ingredients you put in it, so you're not eating the same thing or something that you've cooked 3 or 4 days prior to your working week, and it can be a bit soggy. The nutrient value is probably dipped by then as well. You want to keep everything vibrant and fresh. It keeps it interesting as well. It means that you're less likely to go for the takeaways and stuff that I used to rely on, essentially. Okay, so we've still got a little bit of mung bean left, so you can always put some more into your salad if you need it. But that is pretty much it. Put this over here. So I've got roast vegetables with a radicchio salad and sun-dried tomato in here. That's full of colour. And a mung bean fennel flat peach salad. I forgot what it was there. Flat peach salad with extra virgin olive oil again, and a little bit of salt and pepper, and that is it, guys. That is me done. It took about 15 minutes, I think it was in total. Total, including the roasting time, that's about half an hour. But literally, it's just chuck into the oven a bit of extra virgin olive oil and garlic. This is how I tend to eat when I'm on work. It's not a ridiculously pretty sort of Instagram picture or anything. It's just simple, wholesome food with lovely flavours, lovely colour, lots of protein, plant-based sources. I don't eat exclusively plant-based, but this is how I tend to eat during most of my week. So I really hope you like that. You're going to try this tomorrow. That is brilliant. And morning, guys. That's awesome. Morning from Mauritius. That's amazing. Nice one, guys. I'm going to try and put these videos up on my YouTube channel so you've got a resource to come back to, I guess, and I'll try and stratify it. So if you don't already follow me on YouTube, go follow me on YouTube. I've got a ton of other recipes, including another fennel salad that's filmed a bit better than this on my iPhone. So yeah, go check it out and follow me on Instagram, and I will catch you guys another time. See you later.
Happy, spinning, clapping, laughing, dancing in the blackness of magic. Get it, have it, bag it, throw yourself on the